Hello everyone, good morning. First of all, before I start, I would like to thank the ICAS leadership, which gave me this opportunity, to present Kala Chakra Dasha. And practically, I'm excited because I never thought I will be presenting Kala Chakra Dasha one day. So, since it is close to my heart, it gives a lot of excitement. And I would like to call out the effort that's been put in from Vishwanath Holla sir as well, because the logistics need to be put in place, and then coordinating this one is not easy. So I thank him as well, and I'm eternally grateful for the support I got from my peers from Bangalore chapter 1, who encouraged me, reviewed the presentation, uh, gave critical feedback and the positive ones to keep me encouraged. So that is like, that is where I got the confidence that okay, I can go ahead and present this. And all of you, whoever has attended this to understand this Kalachakra Dasha, so I really appreciate your time. And I will start with the slide. Let me share my screen first. Okay, so I just shared my screen. This is like, basically why Kala Chakra Dasha I am passionate about. So it goes back to, dates when I initially was doing lot of studies, and I wanted to challenge myself with the understanding and in the astrology itself. At that time, I got couple of articles written by Shri PVR Narasimha Rao, and that is when I got some inclination towards this dasha, and I started doing some experiments on couple of charts. And then I started realizing that it is not what it meets the eye. It has a lot more deeper meaning, lot more accuracy in this. But the challenges are too much to address how we need to go forward with the research. So then I refer to Shakti Mohan Singh book and many others. So I consider Sri PVR Narasimha Rao to be my Manasa Guru as far as Kalachakra Dasha is concerned. So because of him, I was motivated to do this research, and in front of you today. Okay, so agenda for the day today will be, I will introduce you quickly on the Kalachakra Dasha. And for understanding any dasha, what all the things we need: one is the sequencing and how we initiate it, and what will be the duration for the dasha, right? So those things I will touch in the initial section itself. And then I will introduce you to different dasha patterns. You may be wondering why I am talking dasha patterns. That is the uniqueness of Kalachakra Dasha. It is not one single system. It will have around 16 packages. So I will explain all those and how we arrive at Purnayush calculation. And there are some trivias, basically. It is a heavy discussion. So in between, some useful tips using the Kalachakra Dasha that is related to Deha and Jiva, and also the different gatis like Simhavalokana, Markati, and Manduki. And then we will touch a couple of examples depending on the time available. And I thank ICAS leadership again for giving me almost 2 hours so that I can cover as much as possible. Okay, now let me go to the introduction part of it. So in the Brihat Parashara Horashastra, right? So Parashara mentions many uniqueness of the dashas when it comes to Vimshotari. He calls Vimshotari is the most appropriate dasha for Kali Yuga. It is applicable for all, unlike other conditional dashas. And then he explains Sudarshana dasha is suitable for the people who are ignorant. Basically, intellectual pygmies, he calls Kali Yuga people. So he says this is suitable for them. However, just before the Kalachakra Dasha, he bows down to Lord Shiva, and he says Kalachakra Dasha is the most honorable Dasha. You can refer in chapter 48 BPHS in Santanam version. And then he also says that Lord Shiva himself gave this knowledge to Parvati, and then for his disciples, that that's the way Parashara got hold of this knowledge. So when he gives such a honor, which is not given to any other dasha or any other topic, uh, so if it is such a honorable dasha, where is it today? Basically today's status is uh, basically in deep red. Very few people have touched about this and know about this, and rarely it is used. Okay, so why this situation came? So if you dig deeper, it is not for the no reason. There are certain reasons, there are certain challenges, and they are calculations are really complex. It's not straightforward that okay, I have there is one pattern, I need to identify one moon's position and then I will calculate, or I will say okay, this is the lagna and seventh, and I figure out which was the strong and I will decide what should be the dasha, like in Gemini. But here it is not that straightforward. You have lot of the complexities, and I will try to make it as simple as possible to explain in the session, but no denying that it is complex. And the interpretation also, right? The Samskrita shlokas can be interpreted in multiple ways, and all the translations that we have, it gives one or the other different interpretations, and the definitions are varied. So people who want to experiment here, they will get stuck, and they will get lost in okay, which is the right definition and what to do with it. And the last one is super sensitive to the birth time. So the birth time actually highly critical in uh, uh, Kala Chakra Dasha, because any minor variation in the given time, that is 1 minute, can influence the dasha pattern by almost like 3 months. That is the sensitivity you can expect. So at that time it becomes too crucial that you have the right birth time. So most of the time we will not get it. That is the reason it becomes one of the challenge for adapting the Kala Chakra Dasha in your regular practice. Now, is there any silver lining? I truly believe it is. And what I see as solutions are, there are modern tools. We are not in a old age where everything need to be manually calculated. We do have softwares where we can program and get the outputs the way we want. So the softwares are much more capable, so the complexity in the calculation can be addressed. Now on the different interpretations, only solution is research. We need to go and apply the interpretations in various charts and see which one is working, and then zero in on the working principles, and then leverage those knowledge for the further studies. That is what practically even I am doing right now. And the last one, super sensitivity to the birth time. So birth time rectification is a mandatory step if you want to do any study using Kala Chakra Dasha. So what do we do? We may have to take couple of events which we need basically, and make sense of those events using whatever method. If somebody does it through mathematics and then try to apply dasha and make sense of it, then that is their approach. I normally go ahead with the real life events which need to make sense with the Kala Chakra Dasha, and then I will start extrapolating for the future. Okay, so this is the basic introduction that I wanted to say. Where do we stand, what's the challenges, and what is the solution? And ultimately my aim is such an honorable dasha where Parashara himself bows to Shiva before starting it. It needs little more respect than what is it being given today. That's what my firm belief. And my attempt today will be that to inspire as many people as to take this as a research topic. Okay, now I will move to the next slide, that is dasha sequencing. So from here on, I would request you to focus for around 4 slides. Okay, where I will be, it looks like I am talking about different topics which doesn't make direct sense, but all of them, believe me, comes together. If you understand individually also, it is good, because the next slides, when you get into deeper, it all makes sense. Okay, now I will come to the dasha sequence. Okay, there is when I say dasha sequence, I will take an analogy in Vimshotari. Okay, the sequence will start from, let us say, Ashwini is owned by Ketu. So the if I say it is a Ashwini nakshatra, then Ketu is the initial dasha, and then Venus, and then Sun, Moon, so and so forth. Like that, for Kala Chakra dasha is also a clear definition is given. What is the lordship of the dasha? The lordship of the dasha will be like, I will just mark using a pen here so that you can make sense of it. I will just take this as the border. So you take Mars as the first, and then the second one is Venus, and then it goes to Mercury and Moon, Sun, and then basically Mercury, again Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Jupiter. So what did I do? For the practical purposes, it is a natural zodiac, and I just followed the lordship. Right? There is no deviation. So it is easy to remember for all of us. What is the sequence? Mars, Venus, Mercury, and Moon. Okay, this is important. After Mercury, Moon is coming when I am moving in this direction. Okay, clockwise direction when I am going. Mercury to Moon, and then Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Jupiter. Okay, so this clockwise direction is called as Savya. Okay, so Savya pattern is always from Mars to Jupiter, and lordship is given. Now there is another pattern which actually goes in the reverse direction. Okay, so what it means is you are going anti-clockwise, that is from Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, and then again Mars, Venus, Mercury. Here, after Mercury, you are going to Sun, and then Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Okay, you might have observed I did pause in both the directions when Mercury to Moon in the clockwise direction, and Mercury to Sun in anti-clockwise direction. What I want you to remember is these two are a critical point, because as I mentioned, here we have given only the lordship, not the signs. And practically Kalachakra Dasha deals with the signs, not with the lords. So what is the catch? That is what I'm going to cover in the next slide. Okay, so we just spoke about the sequencing. Okay, for the North Indian friends, I tried making North India chart with the Aries as the first house. Please try to follow using your comfort. I am trying to be being more neutral, but I am leaning towards South India because that's comfortable. But after a couple of slides, I will make the slides completely independent of whether North or South chart. Okay. So now I just defined, if I say Savya, that is clockwise, it will start from Mars to Jupiter. And if I say Apasavya, I said it is starting from Jupiter to Mars. So let me list out that, basically this is the sequence that is going to be used. Now let me quickly ask you another question. If I say, if I take this as a, cutting pattern. So if I say Mars is ruling a dasha, okay, and if it need to be a sign, then it can also be Aries and also Scorpio. Similarly, it can be Taurus or Libra for Venus, Gemini or Virgo for Mercury, Sagittarius and Pisces for Jupiter, and Aquarius and Capricorn for Saturn. Only Sun and Moon, they are intact. When you say Sun's dasha, it will always be Leo, and when you say Moon's dasha, it will always be Cancer. But what about others? So that makes the sequencing little more complex than what it meets the eye. In the initial, all that you need to remember as for the sequencing purpose is the sequencing is just like zodiacal lordship. You start from Mars to Jupiter for Savya, and reverse for the Apasavya. But there is also a possibility that you can start the dasha from Mars in the Scorpio and go reverse. If you do that, again, same lordship, You start with Mars, and then Venus, and then Mercury, and then if you are saying clockwise there, then it should go to Moon, right? Basically, after Mercury, you have to go to Moon, not Sun. So you will have to jump from here to here, and then you have to come back to Sun, and then again you have to go back to Mercury, and after that you follow same pattern and end in Sagittarius. That is again lordship is Jupiter. Okay, so this one I will make it more clear in coming slides. Just park it for now, that there is a alternate version of the same zodiac also is possible, and Kala Chakra Dasha recognizes that. Okay, now I will give you a couple of trivia on the slide itself. This Dasha starts based on Nakshatra Pada. So this is again unique one in all the dashas. Basically, let us say Ashwini Nakshatra, if I take, as I mentioned, Vimshottari, we will straight away start from Ketu Dasha. But can I say Ashwini is there? So what is the Kalachakra Dasha for this? It's not possible. We need to identify whether it is Ashwini first pada or second or third or fourth. Depending on the pada, there will be a pattern or a different dasha that will arrive. Okay, so for each nakshatra, based on their pada, can have 4 different dasha patterns. Okay, now let me go to the second point. The dashas considered here, unlike other sign based dashas, we don't deal with 12 signs. Here we are dealing with only 9 signs. Okay, so that means if I say, okay, I'll just erase this all. I will take another one. If I say, okay, the first dasha, Ashwini first pada, let us say, it starts from Mars. Okay, and it will go up to 9 signs in this sequence. The 9 sequence is covered in the Jupiter owned sign, that is Sagittarius. So the remaining 3 is not part of the first pada dasha. So it will be in the second pada. Okay, so that way we will have total of 16 packages. Right now, if I consider Mars to Jupiter, that is Aries to Sagittarius, as the first pada sequence, that way we will have around 16 sets in Kalachakra Dasha. No worries, it is very easy. As long as you have understood this concept till now, we can arrive at all the 16 package just by common sense. Okay, and then how do we arrive at Purnayush? Vimshottari, we say 120 years, right? Ashtottari 108, and Dwadashottari 112. So like that, every dasha comes with a specific Purnayush. Kala Chakra Dasha comes with 4 different Purnayush, that is 100, 86 years, 83 years, and 85 years. They basically come from the 9 signs that is contributing to the Dasha sequence. Okay, so another 2 slides, you will be very clear how do we identify the Dasha number of years, and how do we identify what is the Dasha pattern, who initiates those pattern. Okay, now as I said, 3 pointers we need to know to understand any Dasha. That is, what is the sequencing. Now we briefly touched on this sequencing. With this we will be able to build all the 16 Dasha sequences. Okay, now the second rule is who initiates the Dasha. As I said, Nakshatra Pada. Okay, but each nakshatra has a different type of behavior, which I will cover in the next slide. And then we have to understand what is the duration. So I will cover that also in the coming slide. So let me move to the initiation part. Basically we need to understand nakshatras little more in this case. So let me bring this chart. So let me make it, I will bring an analogy to make it easy to understand. Assume there is a sports happening, and there is 2 teams. One is called Savya, that is, the other one is called Apasavya. Okay, they go for segregating the team. You have 27 team members which need to be grouped together. Whoever wins the toss will get 3 people extra in their team. Okay, so now what happened, Savya won the toss. They started calling the names. Okay, but the agreement is they will call three names each. So Savya started with Ashwini, Bharani, and Krutika. Okay, now Apasavya calls Rohini, Mrugashira, and Ardra. Now it is Savya's turn. They will go with Punarvasu, Pushya, and Ashlesha. Okay, so like that, first nine nakshatras are distributed between Savya and Apasavya, and the same pattern continues. Now Makha, Purva Phalguni, and Uttara Phalguni goes to Apasavya, Hasta, Chitta, Swati to Savya, like that. Everything is getting distributed between two teams. Now after the team is distributed, they know for a fact that there is two things that can happen based on the rules set up by the game. That is, either you start from Aries to Savya. In the Savya group, they need to decide either you go from Aries to Pisces, or you go from Scorpio to Sagittarius. That is Savya Nakshatra's concern. So they go to a group huddle. They will decide all the nakshatras that is there in the middle. Out of the three names, whatever comes in the second, they will go with the mirror zodiac. That is, they will start from the Scorpio and end in Sagittarius. Whereas Ashwini, Krutika, that is first and the third, and all the accomplices with them, they will go with Aries to Pisces. Hope the game analogy makes more sense. Now let us come to the huddle of Apasavya group. They decide, okay, they also need to follow the similar approach, where it need to start from Pisces to Aries. The other one need to start from Sagittarius to Scorpio. Now in this team, they do a different logic. They don't go with the middle one. They say, okay, whoever is in the first name, that is Rohini, Makha, Vishaka, and Shravana, they will follow the mirror zodiac, that is Sagittarius to Scorpio, and Mrigashira, Ardra, all those will follow Pisces to Aries. So with this, we arrived at 4 different patterns, right? And each nakshatra has 4 different dashas that can be arrived at. So for these 4 patterns, 4 padas, 4 into 4, that is how we are arriving at 16 packages. Okay, so if you have understood this, how to initiate, okay, what follows where, if you have still some confusion, that's fine. We will cover that in the detail when we are arriving at those 16 packages. Now I will quickly cover the number of years ruled by each sign. So sun, actually, basically lordship wise, sun rules 5 years. That in turn means Leo will have 5 years of dasha. Moon owns 21 years. That means Cancer will have 21 years of dasha. And this is like, there is no confusion here, because only Leo and Cancer can be sun and moon's signs. But when I say Mars lordship, and Mars owns 7 years, does it mean 7 years, 3.5 years for Aries and 3.5 years for Scorpio? No. 7 years applicable for Aries and 7 years applicable for Scorpio as well. Similarly, Mercury or Gemini and Virgo will own 9 years each. Sagittarius and Pisces will own 10 years each. And Libra, Taurus, 16 years each. And Aquarius 4 years, Capricorn 4 years. So based on lordship, we also arrived at the signs now. And based on the signs, we will be able to arrive at what is the number of years in the total dasha package, right? With this many information, what all the things we needed to arrive at dasha? Sequencing, which we already spoke. Who initiates? We already spoke. We know the nakshatra pada is the one which defines. And again, the pattern with which they start is also we have identified. Savya, there is a blue group and a black group. Apasavya, there is a blue group and a black group. So, and then we know each sign has so and so years. So with all this background, we will be able to arrive at all the dasha packages. So I will go to another slide which makes more elaborate explanation now. I am going to explain Savya now. So what I'll do is I will create the zodiac in circular pattern. This I was consciously attempting. The reason is it becomes independent of South India or North India chart, so that everybody can make sense of what we are discussing here. Okay, so what did I do? I created 12 signs here, starting from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and so on and so forth until Pisces. So the 12 signs are covered here. And since it is a Savya group, basically Savya, I said it is clockwise. So clockwise direction, it is rotating. So my direction of the Dasha should start from Aries according to clockwise. Mars rulership should be there, right? So it should start from Aries and it should end in Pisces. That's how it is. Now, I also mentioned the Kala Chakra Dasha recognizes the other possibility also, which is like a mirror image of your zodiac, right? So in that case, I will have to create a mirror also, exactly like this. So what it means is Aries will have exact counterpart against it in the mirror. Let us say there is a mirror here. The reflection of Aries is Scorpio. Okay, the reflection of Taurus is Libra, because both of them are owned by same lord. Reflection of Gemini is Virgo. Now the interesting part comes. Can Cancer have any mirror image? No, right? So I will have to call Cancer again here. What it means earlier is Virgo to Cancer. Whenever I am transiting, it is basically I am jumping the Leo and reaching to Cancer, as I mentioned earlier. And again, I will have to do the same thing when I will do Leo, because Leo is also doesn't have a mirror. Now again, Virgo to Gemini and Libra to Taurus, so on and so forth. Now if you see, finally Pisces to Sagittarius. So exact mirror, and in mirror, the direction of the rotation will be anti-clockwise, right? It will be reverse in the mirror. Okay, so now with this concept cleared, now I will start Dasha sequence for Ashwini. Let us start Ashwini 1. As I mentioned earlier, it belongs to Savya group and it follows the black group, that is starting from Aries to Pisces. The first and the last nakshatra, that is Ashwini and Krutika, and all other nakshatras in that group in the black color will follow this. Now, how many signs that I need to count from here? As I mentioned, it is 9 signs, right? I will start from Aries. I will go to Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. Here I finished my 9 signs. So I completed the first pada of the nakshatra. So this is your first pattern, Dasha pattern. So Aries to Sagittarius in Savya is the first one. Now how do we assign the hours? Aries ruled by Mars, so 7 years. Taurus ruled by Venus, so 16 years. Gemini 9 years. Like that you will keep adding these numbers to arrive at what is the Purnaish for this Dasha. Okay. Now let us continue. What will happen to the second pada? Okay, it starts from Capricorn, it continues like this, and it will arrive at Pisces. Now we have covered 3 signs here. Now from here, will it continue in Aries or should it go to the mirror, Scorpio? According to Kala Chakra Dasha, it should jump to Scorpio. Okay, so that means every time when you complete your cycle, you will shift your gear. If you are doing it in the mirror, you will come to main zodiac, or if you are doing in the main zodiac, you will shift to mirror. Okay, now we covered 3 dashas in the second pada. Now I will continue another 6 signs in this one, but here again, Virgo to Cancer there must be a jump, and Cancer to Leo there must be a jump, and then again Leo to Gemini, again there must be a jump. Okay, but nevertheless we will have to cover another 3 signs. So we come all the way up to Gemini and we finished our 9 signs from Capricorn. right? We started from Capricorn here and came to Pisces, and then started from Scorpio and all the way up to Gemini. So this covers the second pada of your Ashwini, right? We covered two patterns. Now let us continue. Taurus to Sagittarius, it continues all the way here. This is 6 signs, and from here again, what will happen? I just mentioned we finished the entire zodiac in the mirror, so it will have to jump to Aries, and from here remaining 3 signs will be covered, right? So Taurus to Gemini, that is my third pada. So that is third dasha pattern. And the last one, from Cancer to Pisces, you are left with only 9 signs. You cover this and you are ending at Pisces, covering all the 4 padas. So we just finished the 4 padas here, and 4 dasha patterns have emerged. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll quickly do the same thing using Scorpio. That is the mirror image, mirror zodiac. The starting point is Scorpio, and it will continue 9 signs like this here, and it will go all the way up to 9, that is up to Pisces, and ends in Pisces. This is which nakshatra it belongs to? The blue one in Savya, right? That means Bharani and all its accomplices, blue colored ones, will follow this pattern. So this one is the first for Savya 2, and then continue 3 signs here. You have to jump here and then continue for another 6. That covers your second, right? Now let me go to the third one. From here to Pisces, again there is a jump. It will come back to Virgo, and we covered third pattern also here. And in Savya 2, the last one is Cancer to Sagittarius. So it will go all the way up to Sagittarius and finishes as per the rule Scorpio to Sagittarius. Okay, so if you see here, we don't have any other awkward jumps. We just followed the rulership of the dasha sequence without missing any of the pattern. Okay, but still we covered both the zodiacs, and we covered 8 patterns already in Savya. That is Savya 1, Savya 2, 8 patterns we have covered. Now let me summarize certain things here. How did we arrive at creating the mirror? Basically, the lordship in the Savya, this is something we have arrived in the first dasha sequencing definition itself. And then I arrived, basically what is main zodiac? Aries to Pisces, which I have represented already. Now I explained how I arrived at the mirror as well. The same lordship, it should match 1 to 1. And then I just added the years here so that it will be easy for us to arrive at the total number of dasha years to arrive at Purnayush. Now I will just do one example, and then remaining will be appearing in your screen. So we did from Aries to Sagittarius, right? That is the Savya 1 first pada, that is Ashwini first pada, right? So if you say Aries to Sagittarius, the years will start from 7 years: 16, 9, 21, 5, 9, 16, 7, and 10. So here we finished our 9 signs. The total of this will be 100 years. Okay, I told we will get around 4 different lifespans, that is Purnayush. The first one is 100, the second 86, 85, and 83. This is how the years are arrived. Okay, now I'll just tabulate this for your reference. It's just a summary. The signs that started here, if you see, Aries to Sagittarius, it was the first set, and it continues 100 years. And there is something called as Deha and Jiva. So Dasha, a sign that starts the Dasha, that is called as Deha, and Dasha, a sign that ends the Dasha, is called as Jiva. Okay, this happens only in Savya. Apasavya, it is a reverse, but Deha Jiva is there nevertheless. So I just covered all the 4 patterns here, for Savya 1. I will quickly cover Savya 2 as well. So you see here in Savya 2, as I mentioned, it started from Scorpio, then to Pisces, and then Aquarius to Virgo. So that's what is listed here, and the number of years is been coming listed here again. And same here, Deha and Jiva. Okay, till now it was heavy on how the navigation happens, how the calculation happens. So just a trivia, just to break the monotonous narrative. So let me quickly summarize what will Deha and Jiva mean. It has a very good utility as far as prediction is concerned. So Deha represents the body, and Jiva represents the spirit of a nativity. It could be a person, it could be country, or whatever dasha you are, wherever you are applying the dasha, that nativity can be represented as either body and spirit, and apply the same rules. Now, if any malefic transits happening, or when the dasha is triggered, some malefic is there in dasha, or in deha, or uh, uh, jiva, then it can trigger some malefic results. Especially in deha, it can give lot of physical ailment during the dasha. Benefics in similar positions will give all good results basically. Whereas in jiva signs, if any malefic is posited, the energy, motivation levels, and the spirit of the person or the nativity will be low for maybe some external reasons, but the motivation levels will be definitely low. Whereas benefic in the same position can make that person highly enthusiastic, motivated, looking forward to the life, that kind of full of energy. So that kind of results can be given. Okay, so these are the quick tips where you can identify how a person is going through a good phase or bad phase, depending on deha and jiva. Okay, so this after covering this, I will quickly move. I am already 1 hour in the session, so I will quickly move to Apasavya. So again, same image, same zodiac. The changing pattern here is the anti-clockwise rotation, uh, and then I will just bring the mirror as well. When I say anti-clockwise, that is Apasavya. So in the mirror, it should become clockwise, and then, as I said, who will initiate the dasha in reverse in Apasavya 1? The blue colored ones were the first stars that is there in the Apasavya group, right? That is what their team decided. So who are all there? Basically, that is Rohini, uh, and then Makha, Shravana, and Vishaka. These are the 4 stars that follows the rotation. Basically, from they start the dasha from the mirror. So Apasavya 1 will start from Sagittarius because of them, because Rohini Nakshatra is the next one, and that is we need to look at how Rohini is going to behave. So Rohini is going to behave from Sagittarius to Scorpio is the target. So it will start from Sagittarius, and it's the same story what we did in the Savya. It will go 9 signs here. Again, if you see after Gemini, it should have gone to Cancer, but it is going to Leo, and then from Leo there has to be a jump to Cancer, and then there is a jump for Venus, Virgo. But right now my interest is only 9 signs, so that means I will have to end at Cancer. So my first pada of Rohini is, or dasha package of Rohini is Sagittarius to Cancer. The second one continues from Virgo to Scorpio, and as I mentioned already, after the closure of this mirror, it has to go to main zodiac, and it will continue from here for the next 6 signs, covering the 9 here, and then it becomes your second dasha. Now let's do the same thing here. It goes to Aries, and then from Aries there is a jump. So Sagittarius to Aquarius, this covers your third one, right? The last one is Pisces to Scorpio. Here we covered the fourth one as well. So with the Apasavya, we covered another 4. So till now, we covered 12 dasha packages. Okay. Now let me quickly erase this, and I will not take so much explanation to cover the last four, because it is the same pattern what I am discussing. Only difference is Mrugashira and Ardra, all those things will be starting from Pisces, and finally they will end the Dasha in Aries. Okay, so let me go first 9 up to Cancer. This is the first one, and then it goes to Aries, and then Scorpio to Taurus. So that is another second. Then again 6 plus 3, that is 9. So ending at Capricorn from Gemini. The last one being Sagittarius to Aries. So with that, we covered all the 16 dasha patterns, right? So now let me quickly go and summarize how I arrived at this mirror and all these things again. As I defined in the beginning, very first introduction dasha sequence chart, Apasavya will go as per the lordship: Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, right? So same thing I have done here with the main zodiac, as well as the representation. As I explained, I need to match exactly the same sign which is ruled by the planet. That is what I've done here in the chart, and then the years need to be arrived at, and again 10 to 21 here, because the first one is Jupiter to, basically Sagittarius to Cancer in Apasavya 1. So we will have to calculate up to this. So the first one will be 86 years, right? Sagittarius to Cancer. The second one 83, the third one 85, the last one Pisces to Scorpio 100 years. Here if you observe, the Deha sign is the sign which is ending the dasha, unlike in Savya where the Deha sign was supposed to be a beginning of the sign, dasha sign. Here the sign that is ending the dasha is going to be the Deha, and the sign that is initiating the sequence is going to be your Jiva. However, the application of the rulership or application of the learnings whatever we had, what will be happening if malefic is in Deha or Jiva, all those things applies both the way, exactly the same. So no deviation there. Only identification of Deha and Jiva is reverse in Apasavya. Okay, now let me quickly cover Apasavya 2 as well. We started, as we did, from Pisces to Aries, all the cycle here. The first one was Pisces to Cancer, 86 years. Again Deha, Cancer, and Jiva, ending sign in the Deha, and starting sign in the Jiva. So all these things is exactly the same explanation whatever we discussed earlier. Now I had been explaining, jumps, all those things. Continuously, we spoke about it. But let me bring your attention to this. Okay. Right now, I had colored them, those jumps also in differently, so that it is easy for all of us to identify what I'm talking about. So the first one, which I have highlighted here, is called trinal jump. That happens between only Aries to Sagittarius, or Sagittarius to Aries, or Pisces to Scorpio, or Scorpio to Pisces. You might have observed this already. So it can happen only between these four signs. Whenever this jump happens, it is like five signs, 5 or 9 signs, whichever way you count, is basically jumped. So that is why it is called trinal jump. In Samskrita, it is called out Simhavalokana Gati, and if you roughly translate to English, you can call it lion's sleep. Okay, so identifying it very easy. Why I am identifying and explaining only between these signs this jump can happen. There are definitions by some people which gives the jump, awkward jumps from Gemini to Aquarius, or Cancer to Pisces. All these things are available in some of the materials which I read. So that is not approved as per Parashara. Basically Simhavalokana Gati means only these four possibilities are available. Okay, now I will summarize about this red colored one which I have highlighted earlier. In Savya, when I mentioned Virgo, basically Virgo to Cancer there was a jump, and Leo to Gemini there was a jump in red color. And when I am saying Apasavya, Gemini to Leo there is a jump, and Cancer to Virgo there is a jump. What is common here? The common is Mercury sign is has to be common, and Mercury common sign to uh, it has to jump to one sign ahead of its immediate next sign. So that is called Manduki Dasha. That is frog sleep. It happens only 4 times, 2 times in Savya, 2 times in Apasavya. So I will just refresh again. Virgo to Cancer and Leo to Gemini in Savya, Gemini to Leo, and Cancer to Virgo in Apasavya. No other possibilities are there for your Manduki jump. So Manduki Gati or frog sleep can happen only in these four scenarios. That is the reason I have highlighted here. So with these rules, you will be able to identify which Gati or Gati it is. Okay. Now the last one, whenever I mentioned, let us take this example itself. Gemini to Leo. You have already gone to Leo and then you are coming back to Cancer, right? So it is a reversal, temporary reversal in the direction that is happening. So whenever this reverse jump happens, that is called Merkati. Reverse jump, all those things, neither lion can do nor frog. It can only be done by monkey. So that is why rightly named it, so that we can easily identify this jump. So it is called Merkati Gati, and it can only happen with the temporary reversal with Leo and Cancer participating. Okay, so monkey sleep is very easy to identify. Okay, now what is the utility of these gatis? All these gatis, right? Whenever these jumps happen, basically Shakti Mohan Singh calls it like there is a fast forward movement. If you are watching a video and press fast forwardness, what will happen? That kind of an effect will happen in your life. Many things will move faster, and many things for which attention is needed, we will miss out giving those attention. Okay, so because of that, typically there will be negative results is pronounced during the dashas of these gatis. I will quickly explain what is mentioned in the classics. I will just summarize also. If you take Simhavalokana Gati, the definitions like you will have fear from animals and fall from vehicle, you may be imprisoned, there will be danger from poison and fever, destruction of assets, loss of friends and relatives. In Apasavya, if you see the similar one, there also you are saying you will be losing your friend's father and position. So basically a downfall is anticipated if you look at summary wise in both the scenarios, and you are also may lose on the assets as well. Now Manduki Gati, the addition to whatever we have found in Simhavalokana Gati, we will see that there will be distress to relatives, elders, fathers, trouble from poison, weapon, enemies, thieves. Okay, so there is nothing much different coming from Simhavalokana Gati. Only additional things that is counted here is like death of mother or death of native itself, and trouble from rulers. In the initial Simhavalokana Gati, we did not speak about trouble from rulers, but here trouble from rulers is also expected. And then in Apasavya, it can bring trouble for wife and children, and then medical challenges as well, and then loss of position. Now the last one, Markati Gati, basically again it is showing loss of wealth, basically again assets here, because agriculture, animals, wealth, everything comes to assets, and you are expecting a loss because of this, and death of father or elders. In Apasavya, again danger from water, distress to father, loss of position, anger from rulers. So in nutshell, ninth house related results, seventh and fifth house and fourth house related results are normally getting damaged. Okay, so that's how we can summarize. Okay, what do we do about this? There are some ideas given in the classics itself, what can be done during these gatis. These are very useful tips for all, practical purposes, and how we leverage our understanding of astrology. uh, Let us start with one by one. The leap from Virgo to Cancer, when it will happen? During the Savya, right? So whenever this jump happens, in any venture in the east direction is beneficial, and also you can take journey towards north direction. So these are the two directions where you may get better results. Otherwise the results are, gloomy, as we have already spoken. But if you take a venture in east direction, or travel towards north, then it may be beneficial for you. Now let us get to the Leo and Gemini. So the leap between Leo to Gemini, when will it happen? Again in Savya Dasha only. But here east should be avoided, and southwest is a better option. So here you may do well if you take your ventures in southwest direction. Now again, the Markati Gati of the same Savya, that is Cancer to Leo. So here, a movement in southern direction normally gives losses. It is always advisable to go to west direction. Now let's come to Pisces to Scorpio, that is the Simhavalokana Gati. And normal Gati also from Sagittarius to Capricorn. It is trouble in north direction. Okay, so basically Pisces to Scorpio or Sagittarius to Capricorn, that is, movement from Jupiter sign, you see some negativity associated in northern direction. Let us see what is happening in Sagittarius and Aries as well. That Simhavalokana Gati, typically no journey is recommended, because they may result in sickness, imprisonment, or even death. Okay, so sorry, just moved ahead. So last one, that is Leo to Cancer jump. Again, it is a Markati Gati. Western direction should be avoided. Okay, so these are the tips which advises people to do well, even with the gatis where things will be really fast, and people need to take care of themselves. So these are the remedial measures that is being provided by classics itself.